Alright guys, welcome back to another Dragonheir video. In this video, I want to talk about artifacts, especially the epic and legendary artifacts. I'm gonna give you guys my pick for the top 5 epic and legendary artifacts. Alright, this is, well, I wouldn't consider this as a tier list because especially for legendary artifacts, when I first started the game, I got like duplicate legendary champions. It was so hard to find a artifact tier list that tells people which one to pick first, right? Legendary duplicates are very difficult to get to most players, especially low spender or free to play. Like, I think those peoples need to know exactly what to pick when they get a legendary dupe. So let's get into the video. It's gonna be an interesting one. So as for the rare artifact, like these are really easy to get if you get a rare duplicate, which everybody can get. I think everybody can simply wipe out the shop, right, for the rare artifact. There are some of these that are actually quite decent. Right, the best one is probably the tank one. This one, Banner of Oath. This is gonna provide a lot of survivability to your tank, and I do think this one is actually worth it to take it to level 20. And the second best one, I think this one is also solid. There is an epic version of this one, like straight up your ultimate skill gains damage bonus. Like for those AoE damage dealers, it's a very solid choice. And I think this is worth to take to level 20 if you don't have the epic version. And then is this one? Nope. Like this one. This one is really good also in a Dauntless team. Like it's only good in a Dauntless team, I believe, where only Dauntless team needs attack speed, right? But yeah, this one is super solid. If you are using Dauntless team at the moment, this one is worth taking to level 20. And then this one also same thing. I think that it only works well in a Dauntless team because you need a lot of attack speed, right? Like this one maybe works in a summon team as well, right? And other than that, the rest of these, yeah, I don't think the rest of these are that impressive other than those ones I have mentioned, right? And yeah, this one increased healing, I think it's okay. Yeah, this one's also okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 of these that are super solid on the rare category. Anyways, let's get into the epic category. The first one I think is worth it taking to level 20 is this one. But first, let's consider you don't have the legendary version. If you have the legendary version of this one, then you don't even need to purchase this, right? You are not gonna use 2 of these in a single team. Even though you can, it's highly not recommended because it's the main stats is defense and accuracy, and usually these are equipped on a damage dealer, so you are not going to use the legendary version and epic version. If you don't have the legendary version, this one is 100% worth it, taking to at least level 16. I wouldn't say it's worth it to level 20 because from level 16 to level 20, all you're gonna get is 5% increased chance and like 30 accuracy. That's it. So yeah, probably for most people, like for this one, level 16 is totally enough, right? So the second one I think is worth it is this one. This also have a rare version I just mentioned, right? The Warrior's ultimate skill gains 20% damage bonus. This is a huge damage bonus, and I do think if you equip this on a champion like can do massive AoE damage like Havita, if you don't have the exclusive artifact, I think it's totally god tier. Like 20% damage bonus straight up, right? And by the way, all these affinity exclusive ones are garbage. I didn't even purchase those, and I think those are just complete garbage. Don't even buy it. Alright. And another one I think is kind of super good. If you have a shield champion on your team, that is this one, Arcane Music Box. I actually think this one is super solid. But the premise is you're gonna have a shield champion. At least the shield that can be put on your damage dealer. This is the only epic artifact that can be used in a damage dealer that gives you crit rate. This is the only one, right? especially like when you're in early game. Getting crit rate is actually really difficult for most people, right? You are struggling to get your champion to 100% crit rate. This is gonna provide you extra crit rate, and the damage bonus is really good as long as you have a shield champion. So I think a lot of people really underestimate this one. I think this one is really solid. But you're gonna have a shield champion. So if you have a shield champion, like I even recommend this one over this one. Over this one. But if you don't have a shield champion, like if you don't have any shield champion, then you don't even need to buy this because the special effect will not trigger, right? That's the sad part. Okay, then again, this one I think it's okay. This is like for this one, I think it's just not super top tier. The reason being is, again, this is kind of like a dauntless team only thing, right? Where you launch a basic attack, you get like extra attack speed. And for most of Dauntless champions, their ultimate is also considered as basic attack, so they have much higher chance of triggering this. But if you're not using a Dauntless team, like simply just don't buy this. It's not worth it if you don't have a Dauntless team. This is a very specific artifact. If you have a Dauntless team, I would prefer this one like over these two, right? Because the special effect is so easy to trigger. Most of these Dauntless champions, they have like 5 hits from the ultimate, and it's considered as basic attack, you know? So when it's max, it gets 50% extra attack. Very good. But this, again, I think this is for Dauntless only, alright? And then, is there anything that is good? Yeah. The Ancestor's Candle. I think. Oh, sorry, not this one. It's actually this one. Spiritual Burner. Yeah, that's the one. This is very good on those type of support champion that can give you buff. For example, champion like Lauren, right? Give your rally champion a 40% attack up and increase their ultimate energy, right? So this is gonna increase warriors' ultimate energy by 10% after unleashing the ultimate skill. Basically, it gives them 10% skill haste on their ultimate. I think super solid, right? It is super solid. And is there any other one worth picking? I mean, this one, yeah, good for healer, but I mean the rare ones is also really good. Are there any other ones that's worth picking? Like these ones are just for tank. And I think again, the best one for tank is probably this one. So if you have limited epic, what's it called? Imprint stone. Okay, you have limited currency for epic artifact. I wouldn't like pick the tank ones first. And then this one, I also want to mention this one. I actually really like this artifact. Because if you have a shield champion on your team, this is gonna make the shield much bigger. You get 15% more shield, and you get like 80 or 100 enlightenment here, which is gonna make your shield even bigger. So if you have like a shield support champion on your team, and I highly recommend picking up this one. Anyways, like there is some very good shield champion I use on my fire team, right? That is this guy here. This guy is super underrated, but he gives you probably the biggest shield in the game, or maybe the second biggest shield. At least the biggest shield from epic champion. The shield this champion gives you is absolutely massive. Like this is 35-50% enlightenment shield and 15% target max HP. Like when I put a shield from this skill to my damage dealer, this is basically doubling their HP. Completely insane shield. So if you have this guy, right, and you want to use this guy with that artifact, the shield is gonna be crazy, for real. Alright, there is better artifact from the legendary category, but as for epic, if you're using a shield champion, I highly recommend picking up this one. Alright, so for the rest of these, oh yeah, there's one more I think is super good. That's Vile Ink. This is one artifact a lot of people don't mention, but it gives you 35% more derivative damage. This is huge, right? This is huge. The warrior cannot trigger critical hits, but I think that's fine. If you have champion like those poison champion, or you have like a Flora, right? I think not triggering crit hits, it's totally fine. I think it's 100% okay to not trigger critical hits because all the derivative damage cannot crit, right? And there is a legendary version of this. That is where is it? This one, Queen's Fan. You give 7% more derivative damage per tile. But in Temporal Vortex, the max distance is 3 tiles, so you get 21% from this legendary artifact. But on the other hand, this is the epic version. You get 35% always, right? But of course, the main stats, I think you can only empower it to 40%. But the legendary one gives you 60% attack. But again, it's an epic artifact. I think it's super solid to be used on those epic champion and to be used on Flora. So a lot of people kind of sleep on it, right? And overall, yeah, overall, like most of these are still situational, but the absolute best to pick is this one here, Eyeball of the Giant and Crown of the Unclean. These two, no matter what type of team you're using, you're always gonna pick these two. And if you're using shield team, you can get this one. And if you have a Dauntless team, you can get this one. And if you have using Poison team, you can use Poison team Flora. You can use this one, and this is for shield also. So it's really situational. Like I would highly recommend everyone, once you're done with your DPS artifact, then you can start to pick up those tank artifacts. That's just my suggestion. Alright, now let's talk about the legendary ones. Okay, so maybe this is the part that most people are interested in. Like I said, I'm a Manuel. I have like 19 legendary artifacts. And there are a lot of them that I still haven't picked up yet. I have one imprint still remaining. Don't know which one to use. So I'm just gonna let you guys know which one is the best. Alright. So let's say you are a low spender free to play. You get your very first legendary duplicate. The absolute first one you're gonna get is the Rift Hourglass. There's no other choice. You're gonna get this one. You get 100% extra skill haste. Think about that. Sort of not 100%, it's 100. This is equivalent to like 2.5 seconds of cooldown reduction on ultimate, I believe. Somewhere there, 2.5 to 3 seconds cooldown reduction on the ultimate. Really insane. A lot of people might say this one's the best one to get, which remain, but I disagree. I think Hourglass is just better. It's so much better. For example, when you're in those dungeons, right? The boss skill rotation is 18 seconds, and your skill, most of champion skill cooldown is 20 seconds. If you don't have this one, it's for a lot of people it's very difficult to like tune your cooldown to lower than 18 seconds. So this one is so important to most of PvE and PvP content. So like if you only have one legendary dupe, like this is the one to go. Alright, now let's say if you have two, if you got your second legendary dupe, then just pick up this one. Like these two are just the absolute first two picks. If you have two legendary dupes, there are no other choice. You're gonna pick these two when you get first two legendary dupes. And the third one you're gonna go with, it's gonna be a little bit controversial, but I think it's the right way to do it. Let's say you get a third legendary dupe. What you're gonna do is really depend on what type of team you're using, because the third one you're gonna pick is one of these affinity exclusive legendary artifact. What I mean by that is, let's say if you're using a wild team, then you're gonna pick any of these two. Alright, if you are using a frost team, you're gonna pick frost affinity exclusive. If you are using a summon team, you're gonna pick one of these. Because I think those elemental exclusive, affinity exclusive legendary artifacts, they actually give your DPS a huge damage boost, right? For example, my Phyto here, this is a Radiance exclusive artifact, not Phyto exclusive. It can be used on any rally champion, right? This gives him a huge damage boost, 25% damage bonus on the ultimate. That is a very, very big damage bonus, right? So that's the way I think most people should do it. On your third legendary dupe, pick one of those on the top, right? Depending on what team you're using. Okay, so let's go to number 4. Let's say you get another legendary dupe. What I would do, again, not apply to everybody. I'm just gonna say my 4th favorite artifact is this one. It's called Downpipe Organ. I think this is a insane artifact. If you are using it the right way, a ranged hero in the team gain 10% of warrior's attack. I think this is an insane artifact, because I'm gonna tell you guys this. Pretty much all the melee DPS in this game sucks, right? I just won't recommend you to use your melee champion, use a melee champion as your main DPS, because they just so easily getting killed, getting one shot, right? And yeah, your team just gonna get a huge boost of attack. For example, I'm using a rally team, right? I put this artifact on Lauren Theo. Look at his attack. 7,000 attack on Lauren Theo, right? What that means is this guy doesn't do any damage anyways. I just build him with attack. What this means is my rest of my ranged champion gets 700 attack from Lauren Theo. So my Phyto gets additional 700 attack. My Alton gets additional 700 attack, etc. So I think that artifact is super good. Alright, that's my 4th pick. My 5th pick, that won't be a surprise, because it's just so good. This artifact is called Solar King's Horn. It's called Solar King's Horn. If you just simply read this, you will know how broken this is. When the ally heals an ally, increase the ally damage by 5% for 10 seconds up to 3 stacks. So if you put this to any healer that can do AoE healing, your team is gonna pretty much get 15% increased damage constantly, right? So yeah, probably this one's a little bit better than this one though. That might be right. So anyways, like, you guys know like my top 5 picks now, right? It's Solar King's Horn, Downpipe Organ, and Witch's Remain, Rift's Hourglass, and the last one is one of those affinity exclusive ones. That's my top 5 pick. Assume if you have 5 legendary dupes, that's at least what I'm gonna do, right? If you have more than 5 legendary dupes, you are probably a mini whale, right? So yeah, there are also a lot of good ones here that I think is also really good. For example, this one, if you have a shield comp, this is actually an insane artifact. Like if an ally have a shield, they get like 17.5% damage reduction. That's a huge damage reduction. I think this is super good if you have shield champion. And this is a very good one for tank. And this is also a very good one for tank. Are there any other? Yeah, I think I bought most of affinity exclusive ones. I think this one is a little bit overrated. I know a lot of people really like this Queen's Fan, but honestly, I think like the epic one is probably even better than this, because you won't get this five tiles bonus in Temporal Vortex, and that's the place you pretty much need the derivative damage, right? So yeah, I just won't prioritize this one. And is there any other good ones? Yeah, most of these legendary ones are just are good. You know, most of these are good. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. I gave you guys my top 5 pick. Let me know if you guys agree with my pick, right? Let me know if I overrated an artifact. Yeah, that's just I made this video because when I first started this game, nobody tells me what artifact to pick when I first got my legendary dupe. So yeah, I just put a video out there like this to help people pick their first 5 legendary artifact. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in a video soon. Bye.